We will be discussing about hatch in our session, and before going through the command, let us have a look the technicality when, how we can use hatch and why. If you see hatch in engineering domain, the hatch is something which we use to represent, to cut a material or any object and view virtually to understand how it looks inside. Maybe a virtual plane you pass and cut and visualize. So hatch represents a material cut or object cut or assembly cut and you visualize inside. So hatch can also be a solid or hatch can be also with angle. So various classes of hatch also are there, which by seeing the type of hatch you can say that this is a particular material, maybe a steel or maybe brass or maybe zinc, etc. If you see the huge library of AutoCAD, there you can find also the different type of hatch patterns. So for creating hatch, you can go to the draw and here you can see the hatch. You click the hatch, and once you click hatch, you will see the hatch dialog box where you can define the different type of patterns. If you click here, you can get the complete overview of the different type of hatch. Maybe I am selecting a particular type of hatch. Here you can see the complete broad libraries. Once you select the type of hatch, then you can execute the hatch command. Let us say I am selecting ANSI standard, and if you see this particular area, I need to represent the hatch to this area, and this area. So when you just move the cursor over the area, you can see visualize the hatch, and if required you can alter the scale as well, or you can increase this also if required. So directly you can assign the scale factor which is required for your case, and also the angle. If you need to have the angle, you can specify the angle here, because by default the NC31 which I have selected with a particular angle 45, that when you specify 0, that will be with that angle. If you want to change this, that you can do. Also the type of hatch which you define is in associative with the boundary or not associative. If you don't need associative, you can remove this. If you need associative, you can keep these options active. Then you can press enter, then your hatch definition will be defined, and you can select particular property after defining this also. If you need to change or alter any property, maybe the color, maybe anything, directly you can select the hatch and you can execute the different modification operation later. If you need to change the type of patterns, you can always do it. If you want to change or want to understand the various hatch patterns impact, that also you can look and you can change the corresponding properties here. And in this way you can define the hatch and you can control the peripheral properties with respect to the hatch. And we'll see a particular case to better understand hatch in depth. If you see this particular problem, one section has been derived over the solid model to interpret the hatch. And if you see the broad scenario of the hatch for a particular certain problem, I can explain you. This is a particular case where you can see the section AA is represented here to define the cut section. So what I am doing is I am defining a particular 2D section here to visualize the cut section. So here you have to go for the corresponding hatch to select the areas. Maybe this area, this is the hatch pattern, and you can pick the sections which you need to derive under the hatch category. These are the sections after cutting I am seeing at the cut section, and you can see the default color is selected here, so the hatch pattern is derived with the same color, and all the rest of the properties are driven through the patterns property. And you can go for close hatch creation and the hatch will be ready. In this way you can apply your hatch command over various practical cases to derive the virtual condition, that is the cut sections, and in this way you can define the hatch. And also you can define solid hatch to represent the complete field area. If you see the shaft, if you would like to show this with full color, then you can apply also hatch, the second type, which will be gradient. If you go to gradient and select the hatch, you can apply a solid color. This color can be with different notations. Here you can see this can be with the mix of this. So there is a gradient with the color node, you can apply this. Or if you want to apply a solid color also, you can always have this. A single color also will be applied, and you can change this property as per your requirement. So this hatch can be gradient, that is mix of color, or can be a single color, which you can do by selecting solid, or in other case you can go for the hatch patterns.